Cody, what's good, man?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Welcome to Ford Radio. Thanks for coming in.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So we're here at Strong New York, 2023.
Yeah.
And I got to ask out of the gate, man, what does strength mean to you?
I think strength for me it's a variety of things. I mean, I think coming from my background, we get tested in a lot of different, aspects of strength. So I think that strength for me is having a really good foundation where you can kind of get thrown into any environment, and that's maybe not even a fitness environment. It could be more of like a friendly hike or something like that, but you're going to be okay. You're going to be able to get through it. And I think for me, that's strength. And I think that's be able to a good foundation to be able to kind of tackle life in that way is kind of my definition that I use as strength.
When did you know that maintaining and then developing even more, we'll say, physical strength was something that really interested you? And, even flash forward, kind of get to the point of competing in strength.
Yeah, I mean, I was young. I was probably 15 when I first got introduced to something beyond just a traditional high school weightlifting kind of area, where I saw some people doing more of this CrossFit style functional fitness stuff. And I kind of got into it, and I just realized that I think that in that space, there was a lot of people that I shared the same values with. And I think at such a young age, it was very important because they helped kind of guide me in ways in life. So I just kind of fell in love with the feeling, not only of working out and fitness and what it made me feel like. I think it was also the life that it was allowing me to live that was different than the normal teenage, go to college, party, stuff like that. And I enjoyed it. And then kind of fast forward a couple of years, I decided not to do college baseball. And I was like, I'm going to run at this thing. And then I started competing.
The thing being CrossFit.
CrossFit, yeah, sorry. And then 2014, I competed at my first regional. I was 19. I was the youngest one on the floor. And then competed at the games a couple times. 2017, 2019, stood on the podium with a team, which was awesome. It was such a good experience. Yeah. And that was kind of my ending, to be fair. I felt like that was good for me. It's a high demand of being in the gym. I coached for 15 years. I mean, I coached the whole time, full time as well, because that was my way to give back. And I think that was one of the coolest things I've always loved to do and I still do it to this day as a hobby with a local gym over here in Brooklyn where I'm at.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, because I think it's just, I think when you learn how important health and wellness is and how it can kind of trickle over to your life and so many different things, for me, I just wanted to share that with people. I wanted people to kind of have the same experience.
It sounds like pretty early on, fair to say, that you realize all of those cascading benefits that a lot of people get eventually, I think, from the physical goals, the physical transformation. If you can kind of take us back to that moment or those moments when you're like, you know what, I'm leaving way more out of the gym than just, a great workout.
Yeah. I think for me, it was, I come from a background of, I grew up in Maine where there's not a lot to do, and substance abuse is a very, very high level thing. My
not laughing at that. I'm just saying,
I get you. Yeah,
I grew up in the middle of nowhere too. I know what nothing to do.
I grew up in a log cabin my dad built in the woods, and everyone's a contractor, and I love it. I mean, it's always my roots, but unfortunately, substance abuse is a massive thing there, and I watched my father struggle with that for years and years, and I think I always knew I wanted to find a different outlet, and that was the big thing for me when I went into the gym. I was finding this outlet that really made me just want to be a better person. And what it was also a part of my time that was allowing me to be a better person, a better friend, a better partner, a better student, because I was having this time that I felt was for me, something I appreciated so much. It was a really cool thing to find so young, because I think what I was able to do was start to implement it and bring my friends into it, bring my family into it, at such a young age. I mean, I was helping coach my high school football team while I was the quarterback of the team and stuff like that. So it was a really, really true blessing that I still love to do today.
Talk about leading a community. If you guys maybe heard in the background, we got Michael Chernow yelling at everybody. I guess the event's going to kick off here soon. So shout out Michael, Creatures of Habit. He'll probably be back on here later today. So am I understanding correctly, you're not competing anymore, right?
I do not compete anymore. So 2019 was my last year that I competed at the games. It was kind of I don't know, I had a weird last couple of years. I think that...
Weird how?
Weird in a way where I felt that I got all I wanted to from the competition side of working out.
Okay. And what was
personally,
that?
I competed at the games individually. I did demo team. I went multiple years at regionals. We as a team like did well in Dubai. I traveled the world and stuff like that, and I got to stand on the podium. I had like, in my perspective, I didn't win the games or anything like that.
Okay.
But I had a great experience.
All right, let me ask you right there. Going into that experience, or those experiences,
Yeah.
were those your goals? Were those your benchmarks for success? Or did you just reach those moments and go, you know what? I'm good. Like, I feel really satisfied. Like, I want to move on to the next thing.
Yeah. It's a tough one because I am like at my foundation an athlete and competitive as hell.
You played baseball, right?
Baseball, football, basketball. I did it all. But I don't think that my goal was to ever, I don't want to say, my goal was never not to win, to be fair.
Okay.
But I wasn't willing to sacrifice some of the things that I still loved about my life. And for instance,
Like
coaching.
what? Yeah.
Coaching full time. I coached full time when I competed. Most athletes don't do that. Like stuff like that.
If you're competing at that level,
Yeah.
you're a full-time competitor.
Exactly.
You're a full-time
So
athlete.
between working out and coaching, I
Yeah.
mean, I was in the gym for 9 hours a day, 5-6 days a
holy
week.
shit.
You know what I mean? Writing program on the weekends. Like my life was the gym. So I think that but those things, I also believe that that's what was filling my life bucket. Like I was able to have these experiences.
You were getting a lot
with
of
people.
fulfillment in other ways,
course.
not relying on this one thing.
thing.
Pour into you entirely.
Yeah. So when that one thing I felt like was, when I was able to have some success, little success in that one thing, and it still wasn't really filling that bucket for me, it was like, wow, this is amazing. I'm here and I'm appreciating this time and I'm so thankful for it. But like, I wasn't feeling what I really wanted to in life. I realized that like, okay, this is a good exit for now.
Yeah.
If I want to come back to it, I can. You know, it's always
not
going to
going
be there. It's
anywhere.
not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to see what else kind of comes my way, because when you're dedicated that much, you close a lot of doors as well.
Dude, that's a huge realization.
Yeah, like you close, you have to. I mean,
Right.
especially in a sport where we don't sign contracts. We don't say, "Oh, great, I'm in the league for 4 years."
Basically, everyone's like a free agent.
Exactly, at the beginning of every year.
Wow.
One slip up, you're gone. You know, so it's a lot of dedication, and it's tough mentally. Like it's very tough mentally. So I think my last couple of years, I was at a space mentally where I really didn't want to be in it that much. But I think as a lot, when you live a certain lifestyle and what you're used to, it holds you in there a bit more. It kind of had a trap on me, unfortunately. Not only from a lifestyles and travel and competing and all this stuff, I was almost in a way like addicted to fitness, which is interesting.
Walk us through that, because I know
Which is what I had to break myself down from for the past 4 years.
What did you do to break yourself away from that?
Dude, it was tough. It was like, I mean, you're talking about a guy that like never went on a vacation without like working out at least. Like the max I would ever take.
Are you like
maybe
scheduling your
2
travel
days
around
off.
where
yeah,
the gyms are? Like, does a hotel have a sufficient training facility?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, like it was like a big thing for me to break down that mental barrier in my mind, and like knowing that it's okay to do this. It's still something I fight with today. If I go the weekend, it's just a Saturday, Sunday, I'm like...
I'm with you, man. I struggle with that even this weekend. You know, I mean, even because personally...
Me too. Being here and all that.
Especially at this event. This is all for fitness, wellness, taking care of yourself. And a little like kind of promise I like to keep to myself is training 4 days a week.
Yeah.
That's like my gold standard.
Baseline.
I'll really, if I hit 3, I'm like, all right, cool. But so this week I hit 3. And so I normally would like kind of make up for it on the weekend. But just with travel, with doing this event, I was like, you know, it's not going to happen. So even coming to an event focused on what we're talking about, learning to let that go.
Yeah, I mean, I think unfortunately, like with most things that have a massive benefit of feeling good, there's a negative side to it. And there, like with anything, there's an addictive side that you can get almost addicted to this thing. And for me, it was like, I think at such a young age too, where you just like go, and you can just go.
I mean, at your age, I mean, that becomes your norm. Those are such prime development years, especially as a young guy.
4 hours of working out was my normal.
Yeah, who is Cody without that?
Yeah, multiple pieces, exactly. That was my name. That was what made me feel good.
Public identity.
Exactly. I relied so much on that. So to first step away from it, but then to like break my mind from being like, okay, if I want to grow in other areas, I'm going to have to learn to give. Like, I'm going to have to learn to give a little bit.
Learn to give, man.
Yeah.
What did you learn to give? How did you learn to give? What did giving look like?
It was tough at first, because giving from an area that was not only my like me time, what I relied on, which made me look good, feel good, all these things. It was going into an area that was more like building life, which was I started working for a company called Pliability. So it's like developing a work schedule, realizing that I might not have all this time in the day. Adulting, exactly. Adulting.
We all have to get there eventually somehow, some way.
Yeah, and I think that just like that's the evolution of life. You know what I mean? No matter what it is, like you have a kid, you get married, you do all this stuff, you get a dog. Like you're gonna have to learn to bring these things into your life. And my life was so consumed of one thing, I had to give from that. So I think it's been a really cool learning process for me.
Yeah.
I've learned how to still give myself what I need because I still understand. I think the biggest part is I still got to give myself enough because that does make me a better person.
What is enough for you? Like, how do you kind of know your bucket's been full? Like, I'm good. I can hold this.
That's a hard one because I like you said like 4 days a week or something like that. For me, it's more a feeling. I can go in the gym and you can give me 30 minutes and I'll go crush myself and I'll be on the ground laying on and I got a feeling like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, like I did what I wanted to.
I achieve fitness.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
Good,
yeah. And it's just like, it's a lot mental. It's a big mental thing for me of like, crossing a barrier where I just feel like, okay, I push myself because I always want to push myself. That's one thing for me. Like I always want to challenge myself. I always want to know I'm capable to, hey, you want to go run a marathon? Yeah, let's do it.
That's got to be the athlete in you. That, like,
it is.
I don't think that ever goes away.
You want to go to flag football? Yeah, but I want to win. You know what I mean? Like I want to do it. Let's do it.
Do you want to play? No, I want to win.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I think that is what I still do this for, and it goes beyond that. I want to be able to be there for my kid when I'm older. I want to be able to be the dad that hopefully can run and hike and do all these things, you know? So like, and I'm still bringing other people in my life into it, which I still enjoy so much. So, but it was a challenge. I can't look you in the eye and tell you it wasn't because it was a big difference. Yeah.
You know, it is for a lot of people. And I think the event's getting rolling here. So guys, we're live here. You know,
I think you should put my mic a bit
get real close to
closer.
the microphone. My editor, I feel sorry for you. Thank you in advance. But to kind of just go deeper a little bit there, because I think whether the person listening is a competitive athlete, they play sports, they play CrossFit, or they're just competing in life. That's kind of my personal definition of athlete.
Yeah.
That mentality, in my experience, only comes many months, many years later of that feeling.
Yeah.
That mindset connection to the feeling of, you know what, I moved my body. I'm happy with what I did.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't do what I used to do, but that's okay.
It is.
And so how would you kind of translate that to the everyday person, to that feeling, getting a better, deeper, quicker connection to that feeling?
Honestly, I think like anything, it's time. I think you have to understand yourself. You need to kind of go through the process and you need to lean on others. I think one of the greatest things about a fitness community is that everyone is really open to talk about things and, you know, like to share experiences. And I think that you can lean on them on these communities as a resource.
Yeah.
But it is finding what works for you. And that was a big thing for me. My wife is completely different than I am. My business partner can work out completely different than I do. Like, it's finding what works for you and knowing that you need to prioritize that, because I think that's when things get happen. Because if you are someone that enjoys working out and it's that big of a pillar in your life, it means a lot to you. And it's okay that it means a lot to you. And you got to be okay with letting someone like, this means a lot to me. I need to take this hour of my day so that way I can do X, Y, Z and do it to the best of my ability, because it really helps me do that. But I think it's also prioritizing that, because not all the time. Sometimes that's 6 a.m. Sometimes that's 8 p.m. You know what I mean? So
being malleable with your discipline, with your goals, with that feeling is huge.
It was massive when I started bringing more life into my life. Allowing like, okay, I'm not going to be able to work out at optimal times every day.
Right.
You know, from like 10 to 2. Like, no. Like, that's middle of the day. Like, it's going to be in the morning. It's going to be...
I think a lot of people struggle with that. It's like, I can't do this workout because I haven't hit my calories. It's not the right time. I haven't had my caffeine. Haven't had, enough of the life to support my protocol. But I'm hearing you say kind of learning to adapt to life and then just build around it.
Yes. Use the fitness as a foundation. Don't let it ever go anywhere, but build upon it. Don't have it be something that like holds you back. Don't make it be the ceiling of like, I can only do so much in a day because I got to do all this other stuff. I get when you have goals and specific goals, like grind, go do it. You know what I mean? But like, if you are someone that is using this thing as a platform to bleed into your life and others and community and all that, don't let it become something nasty because it can, unfortunately. It really can. And I see it happen all the time. People come addicted to it, and then they're not happy with their performance. They're not happy with this. They're not happy with that. And in perspective of things, it's like we're all blessed to be able to do this.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Every day.
If you can wake up and move your body, like you're already killing it,
dude. You're
already killing it.
So it's like enjoy it, and when you enjoy it, you'll get 10x out of it. 10x. You know what I mean?
At least.
At least. Yeah, for sure.
I want to go back a little bit to what I heard you talk about. Kind of having, it kind of sounds counterculture. A lot of us here, find like-minded people, right? Which I support and agree with. But what I kind of heard you describe was it was like same but different. You had people that didn't necessarily go along with your training protocol or had different walks of life or different forms of training. How aware of you were that? How conscious were you in building that? And do you agree that in order for us to have this happiness around it instead of it consuming our life, to keep different walks of life of people around us?
Oh, of course. I mean, I think that we all have something to learn from everyone. And I think that was a huge thing for me. I mean, right off the bat, one of my biggest people that influenced my life was my coach through CrossFit. He had a whole different perspective of it. He was a coach. Yeah. He was a family man. He was a gym owner. He was a businessman. He worked out like a couple times a day and would jump in with a pizza with me. But he helped me keep a mindset of like, live in the moment, be here, understand what you're doing. This is a process, and it's beyond just like the gym. Get out of the gym, go do this stuff, enjoy your life. You're young. He kept a really good balance for me. Later on, I've met people that were coming to me as a client, and they were 40, 50 pounds overweight, and I helped them get back on track and get their life going and make them feel good about themselves. But I was able to learn so much from them. They were amazing fathers, amazing family men, great businessmen, stuff like that. Like
all the other parts of them that maybe when they walk into that gym with you, consciously, subconsciously, they're checking at the door.
Of course.
But you're still that multifaceted person.
Yeah.
You can break it down and train different aspects, but remember, when you walk out that door, you're not walking back to just one vertical.
No, not at all. And it was just really cool to see that. And it was really cool to see how they navigate through life. And I was able to just watch all these people with different lives bring fitness into their life and watch how it helps them. Watch how it helps them grow. Watch how it helps their marriage, the way they feel about themselves, the way they present themselves, the confidence, all this stuff. And it was just really cool to see. But I was also learning. I was, having conversations that were like so cool to me because it wasn't just about fitness or something like that. Man. It was great. I mean, it was a very like mutual thing that we both loved to do, or whoever that was. Like I really enjoyed it and I think that's why I kept coaching for so long. And it was wonderful.
So what are you up to now? What's the biggest thing that you're working on, bringing to the world?
Yeah, so in 2019, it was funny. I was an athlete with a company called Romwad. We were a mobility and flexibility company. I was with them for like 4 or 5 years. And then in 2019, the founder came to me for some health and wellness stuff. And I really started working with him one-on-one, kind of trying to get him back on track. Very, very successful businessman, but on the life side of things, he let that really consume him. And he kind of got some news where it's like,
which is kind of par for the course in a lot of cases.
Of course. And it's a bit dangerous, especially at someone that young. And it was a bit like, hey, I got some news and I would really like some help on this. So I started working with him pretty in depth and getting him understanding of how something that he was so like, I hate to work out. I'm like, let's try to make this a benefit. Let's try to make this feel good. Like you can feel good about yourself. You can feel good about your day.
How can you look forward to
Exactly. Like use this as a strength, And we kept just growing our relationship and our partnership. And then eventually I started kind of helping. He was incorporating me inside the company, which was really cool for me. And not too long ago, like 6 months ago, I became a partner in the company.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Congrats.
Which is amazing. So that's what I do full time. We're now Pliability. We rebranded last September. And it's just been an amazing journey for me because it's still, I think we do things differently. Our partnership for sure is different than others. I mean, we work out 3 days a week together. We start our day off.
That's so much more realistic.
Yeah.
Probably you can help with the family and everything else, run the business and not have anything spill over into the other.
Yeah, and it's just like I think we've built a really cool foundation between each other, understanding of how that helps us in the company and the partnership and all that stuff to really like grow this thing. And then the company itself is amazing. It's still like it's health and wellness, it's mobility, it's flexibility, it's mindfulness. And my job more is director of performance, where I am taking all the knowledge I learned from 15 years of listening to people and coaching across all the world and being like, okay, like how can I give the best product to them from not just fitness, but other sports as well,
Yeah.
you know, like just sport in general, because I think mobility and flexibility is like the new kind of kid on the block a bit coming to the scene of like, oh, wow, I need
It's
this.
not, but it's actually, I think, personally being finally heard and respected and maintained.
Of course. It's starting to become serious,
Right,
I think, where people are realizing like, okay, like I can have a really strong foundation other ways, but if I don't have this, like it's a problem.
Yeah. Especially once you're in it for a while. If you're just the everyday warrior, I mean, if you're doing that for a couple of years, mobility, flexibility, pliability, all that, you will feel it quite literally.
100%.
So it's not just some flash in the pan.
No, definitely not. And it's I think it's part of that foundation of creating something. If you have only an hour in a day, like, don't injure yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't put yourself through it, because that is such a hard place to be when you actually do appreciate these things. So just give your body what you need. So it's really like, I feel like we're doing a really good job of driving that message and giving a product that is just really cool. And
Great,
it's been an awesome thing to be a part
Well,
of.
I love what you guys are up to. I can't wait to dive in more.
Yeah.
And as we got more going in the background here, Adam taking stage, which he's going to be on the show next.
Oh, great.
I'm going to
That's
ask you my last question, man,
Yeah,
that I
of
ask
course.
everybody. So
Okay.
moving forward in life, it takes some unique approaches physically and mentally in order to do that, regardless of whatever the thing is we're here to work on or to heal from.
Yeah.
To keep moving forward, to live a life ever forward. What does that mean to you? What do those two words mean to you?
I think to live a life ever forward, I think that I am someone that needs to, I need to challenge myself in life. I think for me to live my life that I want. And for me, that is why I still do fitness, because I know there's going to be a life that I want to live that is always going to have this physicalness to that. Just with, you know, like I said, running with my kids or playing golf with my friends or doing whatever I want. So that life ever forward is something that I want to be able to maintain, that being able to say yes. I don't want to say no to anything. I don't want to say, no, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. So that is for me. I'm trying to keep a foundation and now learn how to have a balanced foundation that involves life with fitness, but still is something that I am happy, I am proud of, and I feel good.
Being able to keep saying yes, man.
Yeah.
I just want to keep saying yes to life as well.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm trying to do.
I'm with you on that, man.
Yeah.
Well, where can everybody go to connect with you, learn more about what you got going on in the world?
Cody J. Mooney on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm on there. And Pliability on Instagram. That's the company.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like always reach out. Like I still answer all kinds of DMs about fitness. And I coach over at CrossFit South Brooklyn a couple times.
All right.
Yeah,
So
man.
New
So
York
I'm
roll
still
through.
around. Yeah, and at Kenny's, I'm always at Kenny's. So.
Yeah. Shout out Kenny Santucci and the whole Strong New York Club.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why
Thanks
we're
for
here,
having
man.
us.
So
Yeah,
appreciate
cheers,
you, brother.
bro. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Man.